I'm gonna give you my best tip on how to keep your external nice and sharp and sexy, bro. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned for all that. I'm gonna go mix up, and I think you should follow me, cuz. Alright, let's go. This is some old base I have. Hopefully it's still alright. You never wanna dump the gear into the bucket, into the water. Always sprinkle that gear in there. This is my secret to having a sharp corner every time. So you don't want the tape going past that metal, man. I'm gonna come at 45 so that it definitely doesn't go past the metal. But I just wanna cover as much of that internal as I can without going past the two metal, right? That's another tip, man. That 45 does miracle work, man. And this is what you do with every internal. You put a gear on. Alright, you wanna have it thin, but not too thin that you can see the plaster. But thin, you don't have to push it too much when you put a tape on. Put that tape in, see that 45? Told you that's miracle. It's right where it needs to be. I'm gonna hold it and then clean it up. Always tie your tape to a 45 if it's gonna go into a tight space. Always start from the top. So, put the gear on. You wanna do both X's at the same time. I always leave the inside for last, and I'll tell you why in a second. So I'm gonna clean that up there. I'm up like this. Last do this, I'm gonna come from this end to finish that off. You have to see this metal on every single coat you put on. Otherwise you made a mistake. Same thing here. Got that. So here, I don't want to swap up until I have enough gear there. And here. Look at this, look. It doesn't matter how good of a trialer you are, how good of a drywaller you are. This is what I always say. You can afford to go over that 10 times, putting 10 coats on it. What you can't afford is to overfill it and trying to scrape it back flat. Don't ever overfill. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, especially if you're using base coat. You can't sand base coat and it doesn't shrink. Don't overfill your external bit, especially a double external bit like this. I'm gonna come to the back. Getting that metal there. So I'm gonna get my stapler real quick. If you see it, get rid of it straight away. You don't wanna come back after your second coat and try to fix it. It's too late. See, when the 2 points meet nice and good, it makes it easier to trail. And it also looks better. The reason why we get the two sides first is because we don't want this gear falling into the inside. On my inside. Now I want to make sure that this corner is not overfilled. That's just a staple. I'm going to take that out when it's dry. A bit of gear like that. Go back into the corner. And finish it off. I'm happy there. Gonna do the same thing on this side. Wanna be filled, but not overfilled or underfilled. Just fill that metal up. I don't mind that. So obviously this is already taped up here. That's how you keep it nice and sharp. If this wasn't taped, I would have taped this as well when I was doing the other one. You're better off leaving that, let it dry and scrape it off. Don't try to clean it off now because it's gonna create more work. To show them what it is real quick. When you come back, we're gonna show you another step. The very crucial point of this is not just to put the gear on, is to scrape it properly. Because if you don't scrape it properly, you've made a mistake. Because it's base coat, you don't want to wait for this to set. You don't want it to dry up before you scrape. Trust me, guys. You want to scrape this right when it's setting. Look at this, no pressure. It's easy to scrape. See what I'm doing right there? It just comes right off. This is when you want to scrape it. Look how easy it's scraped. Make sure you get the middle. Always have a feel. If you find any lumps and bumps, you need to focus on that. Make sure it's nice and flat. This is easy to scrape. This is hard. You gotta start here so you can shape it. This is gonna get covered with a second coat. But the fact that you can see that metal means I didn't have enough gap. This is a quick tip. Once you scrape everything, scrape this corner here too, using your 3-inch. All you wanna do is make sure you're touching up there while you clean it up. You need to create that line and bring that line back by touching. Make sure you're touching, that way it's nice and square. You need this to be nice and sharp from all angles, man. What I'm doing right now is I'm getting rid of these guys here. You have to get rid of all these guys here. They all gotta go, otherwise they're gonna come through your top coat. I mean your second coat, your top coat. They're gonna keep coming through. You gotta be nice and flat. This bottom here, that's all gotta go too. Scrape that back. See, because it's base, it's turned into a rock again. Right, you gotta scrape all that off. That's gotta go too. Scrape all that off. There's a little staple there. I'm gonna take that out. Look, can you see that? Take it out. It's no longer needed. It was just there to hold the metal until the gear sets. Now, so scrape. I'll give you a quick tip. I actually get the broom out and I sweep it. I sweep my external angle. See all these bits I get from my scraping? They're everywhere. You sweep it off. It's gone. It's gonna save that from going into your gear. I got tips on tips on tips, man. I'm not gonna put any water in that. It's a new bucket, I just opened it. I'm gonna mix it as is, right? So obviously it's a little bit dried up on the top. It was crusty. Just so it's a little bit better to get some around. Alright, I'm gonna mix that base. Like I said it before in the past, go all the way up to where you're gonna go. Go down. I'm happy there, grab it, cut it. Now look, there's two sides of the business. There's the affordable side and the expensive side. We're gonna do the affordable side. Look, yeah. I'm closing my eyes, look. Check it out, Can-Am. Send this through, thank you, Can-Am. Cool, let's get it dirty. Sounds like something. Good. See that guy in there? Very, 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 very good. See it right in the middle? And it just slides down effortlessly. See how I said effortlessly? I feel cool, man. I'm not even educated. So now push it hard enough. I'm gonna push it extra hard. Extra hard. Oh, it didn't work out. So, I've got my internals done using Can-Am tools, right? If you wanna learn how to do it by hand, definitely check that video I did explaining it step by step. Second coating is the same as first coating, except you gotta make sure there's no rocks in your gear, everything is nice and straight, it's not overfilled, and I'm not using base, I'm using all-purpose. And I do that on purpose because with all-purpose, I can send it back flat, okay? Whereas base, you can't do that. I'm not gonna explain too much because it's the same steps as the first coat. Instead of using all-purpose to top coat, you use final coat, which is a little bit easier to sand than all-purpose. I'm gonna cut this video, I'll come back when it's all topped, all final coated. You know what it is, guys. This is what happens when you finish top coating. You gotta sand. I got my mask on, I got my sanding machine, and I got a vacuum over here. I've been sanding all day, so I think I know what I'm doing. Check this out. We're gonna send this real quick. Stay right there, guys. First of all, when you're sanding, you need a light. The brighter the light, the better. And when you do with the light when you're sanding, you don't pure light directly toward your sanding. What you do is you go on an angle like this. You see, I can see all these scratches from my machine, okay? You gotta get rid of all that because you're gonna see that through paint. If we don't do a good job sanding, we failed the whole project. And that's a waste of time, okay? Because what you see now is what they're gonna see once it's painted. So make sure it's crisp and nice. Make sure you get a light so it's nice and bright so you can see what you're doing. Seriously, this is a crucial step because anybody can put a gear on. But if you can't send your jobs right, then you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wanna go long way first. This is an angled block, okay? It's angled. I wanna make sure my angle is right in that corner there because it's not touching the top. Sanding is very important, man. Always have a feel because you can feel more than you can see. Okay? So if you use your palm of your hand, you'll feel all the lumps and bumps. Right there is nice and flat and sexualized. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wish you could feel this right now. If I was to do a video on sanding, it would be another 20-minute video, and I just don't wanna waste any more of your time. So the key point here is to use your hands while you sand to feel how flat it is. You need a light like this to see what you're doing. You don't want to put your light directly at your work. You want to go on an angle like this so you can see it. You're not going to be able to see it if you go like that. Go on an angle. Definitely make sure you have the brightest light of all bright lights. When the sun is coming from right in the morning or in the afternoon when the sun is setting or rising, it comes on a very weird angle like this, and it's going to expose all your work. So what you're doing right now is mimicking that light from the sun by going on an angle, so you make sure there's nothing on it. That way when that sun hits it, it's already nicely sanded. So this is fantastic, this is perfect. I can see my metal bead is nice. I'm gonna show you the finished product later on when I'm done sanding because I can't do a video on how to sand. It's gonna take too long. This video is already way too long. And gee, that's how you pretty much have it, man. You gotta let me know what you think in the comments. If this video did help, I know it's the longest video I ever made, but I was just trying to help. This was part 2, part 3 put together just for you so you can see how he gets down and how that he does it, which is me, and how I get it done and get it done. Ooh, how I get it down and get it done. You know what I'm saying, guys? This was all fun to me, man. It's exciting, okay? If you're new on this page, make sure you follow, all right? Check out my YouTube channel. I'm on TikTok, Instagram. I'm everywhere. All you have to do is follow and get all this free content. You don't gotta pay me, bro. You get all this knowledge for free. Make sure you follow. Hey, that's how you do it, man. Double external angle, shooting from 20 different sides, square set internal, all there, man. There you have it, G. Adios and peace out. Make sure you follow, G. I'm gone. I'm not gonna come back.